Stephen Starry from MadridTeacher.com, and I'm going to talk a little bit about materials. I'm an English teacher in Madrid. I teach in little companies on the outskirts, and I've got maybe 28 hours of classes, and I've got a lot of different types of groups, a lot of different levels, a lot of different needs, a lot of different likes and interests, and every one of them wants something different. So, and I try to keep them happy because they're paying well, and so I try to do a good job. I'm conscientious. Try to keep finding new things that are going to be interesting for them, that are going to interest them. And you know, some teachers don't do that, but I do, and I know a few others that do, or who do. And I think their longevity tends to be pretty good, you know, because if you give your students more than what they think somebody else can do, or better, if you're doing better than what somebody else could do in their mind, then maybe they'll stick with you, you know. Some teachers only do conversation classes, or they insist on following the book. They will not prepare anything for anybody, and I've seen them have problems, you know. And maybe they can go along like that for a while, or maybe they can go along, you know, keep doing that forever. But and I think sometimes they do. But I think when you're actively preparing your classes, when you're looking for fresh stuff, when you pay attention to details, you know, to the materials you have, and trying to keep adding new stuff, and maybe making changes, keeping it dynamic, keeping your classes dynamic, well, I think you keep them happier, and you keep them thinking that they can't get any better than you, you know, and that's the main thing. Something else is, if you're, from a business point of view, if you're teaching a lot of classes, you can't afford to be looking around all the time for new materials. So you have to keep a lot of materials on hand all the time, just in case. So I have the internet, so I'm always getting things on the internet. And I'm using a lot of technology in my classes. I'm using my laptop. I'm using, I've got my hard drive here, you know, and there's my projector, just so you can see it. Okay, it's a little projector. It costs like 800 euros, but boy, it's paying for itself, you know. And here's my monitor, okay, with Hot English Magazine. You can see there. That's another thing, another resource that I've been getting for a few years, and it's good. You know, everything comes in handy one time or another, and there's been some things in Hot English Magazine that have come in really handy, let me tell you. Well, this, just quickly here, I mean, you get the online version when you subscribe to this, but you also get the magazine. And if you subscribe to this teacher's packs, this is what you get. You get a bunch of materials, okay? And that, you know, sometimes I always try to teach a course book, you know, because it's a whole lot easier if I'm teaching a course book. But what happens is the students can get bored with that, you know. If you've had them for a few years and you keep following the textbook, they get bored, you know. And so what I try to do is just keep injecting a little bit of novelty into the classroom, either using songs, you know. If the text comes with songs, maybe instead of using the recording that they've got in the textbook, which is usually not the original singer, well, I may go out and get the original, you know. Well, this is an example. My system's kind of overloaded at the moment. It's got a lot of programs open, doing some big things. So I'll show you a video I'm using right now in some classes, or I used this week. It's Europe singing Gotta Have Faith. And, well, this is an activity I put together because of a Harley Davidson activity I've got over here. At first I started out with Harley Davidson activity. And I'll show you the Harley Davidson activity a little bit. Well, I got this right off the Harley Davidson site, okay?
We believe in going our own way,
and
no matter which way the rest of the world is going.
Students have just loved it. Every one of them's loved it. And I just used it this week.
We believe in bucking the system that's built to smash individuals like bugs.
The grammar is really easy. There's a lot of vocabulary in them. And I'm always trying to get them to learn more vocabulary. The main thing with this is just to entertain them. What I find is students will accept difficulty if it's interesting. If it's not interesting, they want to accept difficulty. And so you can't push them as much with boring stuff, even though it's useful and necessary. Something like this, they just love to death. You know, well, this is the American rebel story, right? The American Harley world or motorcycle world. Or the other song, Gotta Have Faith, is the European version, and then we compare, and there's a lot of conversation that comes out of that. But what I do if I use something like this, is real stuff. You get on the internet, you can get it on YouTube. Well, I'll show you where I get it. Let me show you on my computer. I'll turn this off. I might go to YouTube and listen. This is just the first one that was available, and I just opened it up. I don't like this song particularly or anything. I've already loaded it. There's a program called Replay, and there are other programs as well. Replay AV8 and Stream Capture Video. It's this easy, and once you install it, you just look for the video. It appears on a list, usually the first one, and get video number 2. So I add the selection as a new recording. Now that's copying to my computer. I can use that little video on my laptop. I can copy it over to my laptop. It's just a file. Just copy it over, and I can use that in my class to teach English with. I need the lyrics to make an activity. Well, I copy the lyrics off of lyricsfreak.com or I look for it in YouTube. And here's an example with Got to Have Faith. I've copied the lyrics. The lyrics are down here. And I've made a gap fill activity. I usually like gap fill activities. And just a stupid silly thing I had here first. But what I had them do is I had them look at the speedometer, see how fast it was going the first time around. And the guy got up to 295 kilometers per hour, by the way. He's the European ghostwriter. Look for it on YouTube if you're interested. And I give them the vocabulary in Spanish. A lot of people say that's a no-no, but my clients want that. So usually I just give them the vocabulary, the translations in Spanish. It takes a lot less time. It gives me more time to work on other things. And then I have them fill in the gaps after they've practiced the vocabulary or learned the vocabulary a bit. I have them listen again, fill in the gaps. Then we go through with meaning, try to get them into some conversation afterwards. But this sort of structure works every time with most students. Okay.